He stole just a single loaf of bread and got sentenced to 19 years in prison. Every day he was soaked in water, doing the toughest backbreaking labor. One day he finally finished his sentence, but the warden still didn't want to let him go. Then the warden gave him an impossible task to carry a several hundred-pound flagpole all by himself. Jean Valjean gritted his teeth and gave it everything he had, and then something unbelievable happened. He actually lifted the pole and walked it right up to the warden. The warden had no choice but to hand over the release papers. But Jean noticed something off. The paper clearly labeled him a dangerous man. The freedom he dreamed of had turned into parole. Now he had to check in with the police every week. Jean was furious. He'd stolen that bread to save his starving nephew and got 5 years for it. But the warden kept targeting him, stretching his sentence to 19. Now he was finally getting out, but still not truly free. He hated the self-righteous warden, Javert, with all his heart. Still, he clenched his teeth and took the papers. What he didn't know was that waiting outside prison was more than just weekly check-ins, but a world even crueler than before. He searched everywhere for a job, but no one would hire a newly released dangerous man. He tried to beg for food in a small town, but the adults drove him out. Even the kids followed their lead, throwing rocks to chase him off. At night he hid in a stable, but the owner didn't want him dirtying the place and forced him out. Snow began to fall, and Jean was cold and starving. He had no choice but to curl up by a tombstone for the night, but suddenly a priest appeared before him. Turns out this wasn't a graveyard, it was the backyard of a church. The priest kindly invited him inside to escape the cold. He even gave him a hot meal and a warm bed, but Jean had already lost faith in the world. That night he stole the church's valuables and ran off. But before he could sell any of it, he was caught by the police. The cops brought the stolen goods and asked the priest to confirm the theft, but the priest said it was all a gift for him. He even picked up the expensive candlesticks and said he left in such a hurry he forgot the most valuable pieces. The police had no choice but to let him go. The priest quietly told Jean, "Use this silver to become an honest and upright man." Jean was deeply moved. More than 20 years of injustice and suffering had completely destroyed his hope in the world, but the priest had pulled his soul back from the edge. He taught him the meaning of compassion. Jean decided to turn his life around. He tore up the release papers that symbolized his painful past and started a brand new life with a new identity.